Welcome to another edition of Dan Frequently Asked Questions. In this edition, we are answering a relatively technical question about what about bubbles after diving when experiencing a bumpy boat ride after diving. So let me set the stage as follows. It is known that within the first 2 to 4 hours after a dive, you have the greatest chance of bubble formation and the bubbles being released in the venous circulation and on occasion, although rarely, being shunted to the left side of the circulation, which includes the brain and heart. The question now is whether the agitation of being on a bumpy boat ride may predispose this individual to a greater release of bubbles, and whether or not that would make the detection of bubbles firstly valid because there has been this agitation as a result of the boat ride, and secondly, whether it may predispose the person to decompression illness. To answer the question, we can of course look at the theory, and the theory would suggest, as I have mentioned, that bubbles do occur during that time. However, on the other hand, we have also very rarely experienced that this has been a problem. If, however, an individual develops a so-called undeserved hit, in other words, if they develop decompression illness inside what their dive tables or conservative dive computer profile has recommended, then they should be examined for a possible patent foramen ovale, and they should probably then either dive nitrox as air or half the period of time that they dive on air. And that is sort of a generalization to a very technical question. It is true that we have come a long way in understanding bubble physiology, but it is also true that we cannot predict a particular individual's risk of bubble formation on a particular dive on a particular day. There are many variables to consider, and those should also be taken into consideration. I hope that helps. Until next time, safe diving.